Welcome to Breakthrough Success. I am your host, Marc Guberti, CEO and founder of the Content Marketing Plaza, bringing you 3 new episodes each week where I and top-level guests teach you how to take your business to the next level and achieve your breakthrough. And I know we have a lot of authors who listen to the show, who have been engaging with my content. So this one's going to be really great for you because for authors, we have Amazon ads, which is such a great way to really scale the ability to grow your books. And this is how you're able to get sales for your older books as well, instead of feeling like you had to promote it every single day just to continue getting the sales. So we will talk about how do we use Amazon ads for our books in this episode. The guest who joins us today, he is the author of the international #1 best-selling book, 30 Days, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. He helps people with their habits, happiness, and productivity. And as a personal development consultant, he helps companies improve their work environment and company culture. Today's guest for episode 366 of the Breakthrough Success podcast is none other than Marc Reklau. Marc, it is such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be on your show, Mark.
We got the double name. We also have C's at the end of our names, which definitely good. No offense, everyone with a K. It's just that when people try to spell my name, they think it's a K. I don't know if that. Do you get that too? Do people?
I get that. It's even a keyword on my Amazon ads, because some people, it's a good trick. They write our name wrong. We still get the clicks. So.
That's pretty funny. Okay, it's definitely not just me. Before we turn this into a episode of the Marks, I'm wondering if we could talk about just your story into how you got started with Amazon ads. I saw a web class you did with Michelle Kulp earlier, so definitely, I know we're going to get a lot of great value from this, but can you just paint the background for us a little bit?
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I started out 3-4 years ago, like many authors, and I got book sales. I did a lot of free promotions, BookBub deals, and so on and so on. And I noticed in the last year, 1.5 years, that my sales were dropping, and really dramatically. So I saw the organic visibility going away. And around a year ago, like March last year, it was a little bit dramatic, because I was a best-selling author. I'm #1 in Spain. I was always in the top positions in good categories, also in the US, like in time management, but the money didn't come in anymore. And I was losing money in my business and then I said, I have to change something, right? And I was looking at the best authors, like nonfiction. That's definitely Steve Scott, who they say makes $20,000 to $60,000 a month with his books. And I was looking to Mark Dawson, who I found, which is an English author, who last year made $1 million in royalties with his books. And he made it mostly with Facebook ads, but also Amazon ads and BookBub ads. So I bought his course and I got into this. And for me, I'm always a little bit afraid with Facebook ads, because they never work for me. I have to, study a little more or something. But so I took the course and I started out with Amazon ads. And I could really see I was duplicating, of course, at a lower level. I'm not making $1 million yet, but with more work, maybe one day. But I could duplicating it. So Mark is also another Mark. So it's the program of the 3 Marks today. So he tells his story. Also, he was selling 10 books a day. And then he started with Facebook ads. And then after a while, after 6 to 7 months, he was already having 50 books a day. And I said, wow, okay, I will try it. And I could duplicate it. I started selling 10 books a day. Now I'm at 40, 50 books a day. And my monthly earnings went up from maybe $1,000 a month or 800 to 4,000 or 5,000, which for me is an absolute life changer. And all of this came with the Amazon ads.
Wow. Yeah. And it's really awesome how that transformation happened. That's what you get, though, when you buy a good course, and you take action on it, because taking action is really important. You don't get the results just by buying the course. You get the results by taking action. So
absolutely. It was the first course because I was so desperate. So I really went through every chapter. I was doing screenshots from everything that I wanted to learn. I also because the basics are still the same, you know, like in the old days. So you need to have your cover all right. You need to have your book description okay. The price, you can, with Amazon ads, you can have the price at $4.99. It works. People buy it at $4.99, and for you, that gives you more space to play with and to actually make a profit on your ads. So I redid all my system, and it's working. And the great thing is, like, also I know, Mark, you have 20 books. I mean, that's amazing, because you can see after a while, you get a snowball effect. Yeah, you might run ads to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 books, and your readers will buy your other books. And so if I could show you the progress, so like if you would, I would show you like a graphic. It really goes like this, my numbers. Yeah, maybe sometimes there's a little dent in there, but it's really a joy to watch it, and like say, okay, let it go on like this. And it has been 7 months. Maybe a bit more, no, 10 now. So I started in July. Started last July, end of July, and I saw the first slight progress maybe in October. And since then, it has just gotten better and better. So I also want to say right at the beginning, so it's a process. It's not like, okay, I'm going to put up some ads and going to get rich. It's like because you have to study what works for you. So I can tell you things that work for me, and later you have to adapt them for your books. But when you are on top of it, and I'm working 1 hour every day on my ads, and that has been enough. So I said it yesterday on the course with Michelle. I said, what will happen if I stop being lazy and work 3 hours on my ads every day, right?
And one thing to emphasize there, Mark is saying he works on his ads every day. I mean, 1 hour a day may not sound like a lot. I mean, you just said, like, 3 hours a day, imagine what would happen. But people have different lifestyles that, some people, they want to do 5 hours a day. Other people, they go and do 1 hour a day. But the idea is that he's doing them every day. They're never passive. They're never just like, leave them alone and they make money forever. There's a lot you can keep doing. One of the things, though, that is true about Amazon is that it is a search engine. And that is something we have to recognize. So what are some of the ways that you get the right keywords to use for your ads?
I use a tool which is really amazing. I don't know if you use it. It's called Publisher Rocket. Before it was called KDP Rocket, from Dave Chesson, the Kindlepreneur. And this this made a huge difference also. So I think it's like around $97. I think I paid it off, just the hours that you save, because you don't have to copy paste similar authors and stuff. And then also, the hours already you save. And then I think when I bought this tool and I just ran some keywords by it and then put it in ads, I think within 3 days, the ads had already earned the money back. So this is absolutely a super tool. I don't use anything else anymore. I go with the Rocket. The fun thing is, so we have now also Amazon ads in Spain. And in Spain, I still have to do really this manual work that we had to do like 3-4 years ago. Like, you go to the similar authors, the also boards, and then you copy everyone, every name, every title into an Excel, and then later you copy it into Facebook. And of course, it's easily 3 hours. You're sitting there for an ad, and the Kindle Rocket, you saw it in the course. I think in 5 minutes, we got like thousands of keywords, and then you just put them into the ad and see which ones are working and which ones are not working. That's why I'm also so on top of it, because I don't want to waste a lot of money, so that I can, if I see the overview of the ads and there's one that isn't there's like every day spending money and not earning me money, then I go into it, and then it can still be okay, because you can have 100 clicks and no sale if it's 2 clicks in 50 keywords. So that's okay. In 2 clicks, you don't make a sale usually. But if you have like 30 clicks in 1 keyword, I turn it off. I turn it off between 15 and 20 clicks per keyword. If I don't see a sale, I turn it off. I don't know if that's, because some people say don't ever turn it off. But for me, it's just that I'm like, if a keyword don't sell in 20 clicks, it's over.
And it's really interesting how you look that deep into individual keywords, because one of the things, if you look deep into an Amazon ad that has hundreds of keywords, you want to see which of your keywords are top performing, which of them are eating your money. One of the things you mentioned is Amazon ads in Spain. And there's also Amazon ads in the US. So I'm wondering, how do you tap into the Spain market? Because that's not like readily available in the one I currently have.
Not now, because, and that's, I was lucky. I am in Spain. I live normally in Spain, and I got the independent author crowd is very connected, like everywhere, but there even more because we are less there. You know, there's like just 300,000 books, and I had already contact to the person of KDP in Spanish. And it was awesome. So I had direct contact, and then the guy left. But I have friends who told me, authors, that they were in a test group about the Amazon ads. And I said, hey, get me in there. I want to be in there. I see quite some success with my US Amazon ads, so please. And then they made the connection. I got into another beta group, and Amazon was teaching us again the ads, so a little more profound than in the ads course of Mark Dawson. But with that, it's also, they teach you so much. It's like 80% of it you won't apply, because it just goes so deep. It's not even worth it to spend your time on it. So I got into this group, and that's how I got into the Spanish Amazon ads. I have good news now, because I told them, I said, I want to go into Germany, I want to go into Canada, I want to go into the UK, and they made it quite difficult now to enter. But the good news is, and I don't know when it will happen, I was told it might be after the summer, it's in planning that we can access all these countries from our Kindle dashboard. And I told them, I said, if a spot opens before, let me in, because I just calculate, because you have to think the US is the hardest market. So I have like a ROI of 65 to 100%, which is great. Every dollar I pay, I get 2. But in Spain, I have a ROI of 500. I hear in Germany, it's around 200, 300. In the UK, 200. Canada, I don't even want to know, so because the markets are smaller. So once it comes out, because it makes you edge. Before, I have books in Spanish and English, and people always ask me, Mark, should we translate it to Spanish? I said yes, because the market is smaller, but it was so difficult to make the money back, because it was so difficult to move books in Spain to really make them sell, because there were no promo pages. There's only one promo page for the whole of the Spanish market and things like that. So, but now with Amazon ads, it's like, I just translated 3 books in the last 3 months, just because I know that every book will bring me more, maybe make me a couple of hundreds of bucks or 300 per month. And of course, if it comes to German, because I'm also German, I'm German, so I can translate it to Germany. So I'm really just waiting. But even for you, just English speaking books, you have Canada, you have Australia, you have the UK, and we are still early adopters. So I'm just hoping they open it up for us so that we can have real fun.
I mean, that's really fascinating, just thinking about, when you hear about Amazon ads, which are just like, they're big, but like relative to like the whole world, like it's just the US and Spain, and still a lot of untapped areas for that. So it's really exciting when it becomes a lot more mainstream rather than just a few countries. One of the questions I have, and I feel like this is something you talked about during that training with Michelle, is how do we get Amazon to spend our money? Like, it sounds like a weird question, but if you're on Amazon ads, you know what I'm talking about.
That's the biggest challenge for all of us, huh? Because after this group training, Amazon sold me like they sent me like a questionnaire and say, well, how did you find it? I say, how much money will you spend more money on Amazon? I said, I would spend $10,000 every month if you let me. I don't have them now, but I know that $10,000 would make me 20 or 30,000. So it's really, how do you make Amazon take your money? And this is the only thing, is you have to make more ads. So books, lots of different books, lots of different keywords, lots of different ads, because you can, for every book, you can make an ad, can make an automatic ad. The automatic ads work very well if you have already sold some books. So my book 30 Days has about maybe 40,000 sales on Amazon and 130,000 free downloads. So I have automatic ads running for it, and it's just amazing. You know, it's like the average cost of sales is like 6%, because the machine just knows so well where to put it. And the people from Amazon told us, let the machine learn. The machine learns, the algorithm learns, and it will get better and better and better. So you have the automatic ads, then you have the manual ads, then you have ads with copy, you have ads without copy. So that's already 4 or 5 ads. And then, of course, I run each of those ads, I run to the ebook, and each of the ads I run to the paperback. Also, I never sold paperback books before, or maybe 20 a month, and now yesterday I checked my numbers. In the last 3 months, I sold every month $2,000 of paperback, just because of the ads. Just because when you run an ad to an ebook, it still might be that the reader buys the paperback version, and then you can also target your paperback books. And this is, for me, they work very well, of course, because you make more profit, because you get higher royalties on paperback. So that's what I found out until now. I'm also still learning, so I'm just waiting, like everybody, to say, how else can we spend much more money on Amazon? So what I also do is that I'm like, the budget, I put it very high. I put like $600 or $800. So I think I give Amazon every day $10,000, which I don't even have on my credit cards, but I only spend like 50. I try to get to 100, 150. But even Brian Meeks, who is like the guru of Amazon ads, he did a lot of product display ads. He said, I think he never spent more than 200 a day. But if you spend 200 a day, that will be a day where you will earn 500 or 600. So it's the goal.
Yeah, it is interesting how you can create a lot of ads and do paperback, do Kindle. Just quick question. Do you know if that also works for audiobooks, or is that a different game?
I think, it doesn't work, but you will have audiobook sales, because that's the same effect. You know, if you run a lot of ads on some people will go buy your audiobook. But just yesterday I saw, because you remember yesterday I showed you an ad that's very new, where you can target categories.
Yeah.
And in the categories, I saw audiobooks. So I might run an ad to that too, because that would be already, my audiobook publisher will be happy about it. I told him already, I said, look, I'm going to run some more ads. You better up the royalties, because you're going to earn more money. Because it's worth it, you know, it's really worth it. And
wow, that's really interesting. It's just so, because I've been doing the Kindle editions, but I've been thinking about the paperback, the audiobook now I'm looking into, because I have all those formats already for my books, and a few more I could be running ads for. So that's the great thing about it. If you host a podcast, like, not only do you provide value, you also learn a lot. We're not going to we're going to be 100% honest about that one.
Just to come back to one thing, because I admire you for your 20 books. And when I was studying the best authors, I noticed they have 4 things in common, 3 or 4 things. So one thing was really they have 20 or 30 or 40 books. The more books, the better. And then they were really continually promoting 1 or 2 books of all their books for free or for 99 cents to draw in new readers, which they know they will buy their other books. And then they were heavily investing in ads, Facebook ads, Amazon ads. So for example, I'm investing $1,000 to $1,500 every month, and I would happily invest double or triple.
Yeah, and I appreciate you giving us those insights, because it gives us an idea of what kind of goals we can strive for and what they all have in common, and what that that kind of figure is for us that we should be really heading towards to achieve that success. So I greatly appreciate you just taking the time to share those insights. For the Amazon ads, though, Like it's one thing to run an ad, it's another thing to get sales. And a big part of getting sales is having the whole book page looking nice and sharp. So what do you do to make a book description, cover, and all that stuff look nice for the ad?
Yeah, well, I have to say, I never paid more than $20 for a cover. Don't tell anybody. But I have people on Fiverr who really do good covers. And for example, my 30 days cover cost me $15. It cost me $5, but I chose 3. I always like ask for 3 or 4, and I'm like, okay, it's like maybe if I would put a $500 cover on it, I would sell even more books, but maybe not. And I'm a kind of superstitious also. I always, when something works, I don't change it.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Yeah. And also that book description, I did Derek Dubko's course. Of course, I read a lot of books about book descriptions. And of course, also I get inspired by other book descriptions. That's an old trick I heard somewhere. They said like go to the go-to people in your category and check out their book descriptions and get inspired by that. But because they sometimes pay a lot of money for book descriptions,
Oh, good point. Yeah.
But on the other hand, look, I'm traditionally published also in Spain with one book with the biggest publisher, and they took my book description. So I didn't learn much because I think we have come to a point where we self-published authors who really hustle and listen to podcasts and do courses and try to learn from each other have maybe even gotten to a point where we write better book descriptions than somebody who is working in a publisher, and just doing his job.
Wow.
And what I also think of the cover designers, I think a lot of cover designers on Fiverr could be people who work in, that's my theory, could be people who work in a publisher and earn some extra money. I go to the people who have like 1,000 covers designed, and first of all, they need to have great critics. They need to have a lot of covers designed. And then I just look at the covers and get a feel of it. And then I look to the bestseller list and look how the covers are there. And then usually I always find of 4, there's always one cover where I say, okay. And then I ask also my list. I ask my email list. I ask my social media. For example, my book, People Magnet, I hate the cover. I mean, for me, it's can I say a shit cover, sugar cover, but my people, 500-600 persons have voted for that cover. So I took it because it even won by a landslide. So I said, okay, if I ask them and they say, we want this cover, okay, maybe I hope that in half a year I will find a better one, but for now it's okay, So the cover has to be, it's like the old, like always, you have to have a good cover, you have to have the book description, you need your reviews, which is every time more difficult to get reviews.
Yeah.
And the price has changed because before it was like $2.99, and now on Amazon people are happy to spend $4.99. This could also be because the traditionally published authors, they even ask for $8.99, $10.99 or whatever. So $4.99 is now a good price, and I think that's also something that you have to check out. Every author has to check out with their own books.
Yeah, and it's very interesting you mentioned Fiverr. I mean, for everyone watching on YouTube, you got 3 books back there and my podcast logo, all of that Fiverr. And yeah. I think it came out good. I mean, like, people have different opinions, but I mean, like, $5 versus hundreds of dollars, the conversion rates and the sales numbers say that the stuff is good. So
yeah, exactly. So I couldn't have guessed it. See, I didn't know. If you would have told me
everything you see there is Fiverr.
Yeah. If you would have told me you have paid $300 for every cover, I would have believed you, because that's also the thing, does it really, what I also noticed on this long journey, many times, let's say in 90% of the cases, somebody who tells you need a $500 cover is somebody who wants to sell you a $500 cover,
Yeah.
Or if they say, search SEO is like a must, it's usually a person who sells a SEO service. things like that, you know. So that's always something I have in the back of my mind.
Do you get the SEO emails where it's like you have like 20 things wrong with your site and like?
Yeah, I get them, but I know it, but it doesn't matter. It's not my priority. So for me, really, it's like Amazon. Everything happens for me on Amazon.
And one thing that we did tap onto, something really important, you said reviews being a little harder to get, but it's still important to get reviews. And your main book, the 30 days one, which we will be throwing in the show notes, markguberti.com/E366, that has like over 200 reviews. It's really amazing how many you've gotten. So can you talk a little bit about how you're able to get reviews and what you'd recommend for someone just starting out?
Of course, a pleasure. So many of them are organic, because I was lucky to get 3 BookBub deals. So I had over 130,000 free downloads. But still, in the last year, I got like 100 reviews more. And I tried everything. I tried the advanced readers team, that you invite people from your email list and say to them, well, you can get, of all my future books, you can get a free book if you leave later. It would be great if later you leave a review on this book on Amazon. And it was a total failure. My reader team is like, my launch team is 100 people, and I got 4 reviews. But what I did then, and I think I heard it on a Kevin Kruse podcast, every person who writes to me and says something nice about the book, and I always answer all my emails, and then I thank them, and I answer that question. I said, if you could do me a favor, it would be awesome if you can leave a review, and if it's 5 stars, it would be great. But the most important thing is honest. Above all, be honest. And since I do that, I get a lot more reviews, because I get like 3 to 5 emails a day, and so just asking for it. When somebody writes to you, that's for me the best. It's better than, because I have 7,500 people on my list, or 8,000. I asked them, but still didn't get a lot. So the best, for me, the best system is every person who writes to you, who asks you for something, who tells you have a great book, ask them nicely to say, hey, great, I'm so happy to hear this. Could you just take a second and even copy paste this into Amazon? That's what's worked best for me now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really great to do the individual relationship thing. One thing I heard recently was also, now this may work in some cases better than others just because of the time element, but like recording a video of yourself to the person
also,
that can really have a big impact for reviews and a lot of the other stuff you're after. So I just thought about that based on what you said. So I like the individual.
Good idea. I should do that. I'm not so good with videos, but maybe really that's because what we want at the end is a connection with our readers. And I mean, what makes more connection, like actually a video? I hope for me it's good, because I think when people read my books, they imagine a American voice, and then they hear me talking, and they're like, oh my God, what is that? But it happened to me when I first heard, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was dubbed in Germany. So he had a voice for his movies, which was not his real German voice. And then I saw him in a talk show. When the first time I heard him speaking, I was like, oh my God, he sounds better in English than in German. So,
wow, that is really interesting. Also, like the voice factor can certainly be different. And regarding the video, I mean, if you just shoot it on your phone, like it's a lot easier for me when I just shoot something on my phone, just because it's like taking a picture, but it's just a little longer because it's a video. Just something to think about for anyone who wants to do the video method. One thing that I do want to dive into, though, I know you help people with habits. So I'm wondering if you could share with us some of the habits that have really helped you achieve your success.
Absolutely. So for me, I mean, one of the most amazing was a morning ritual, like really the thing like Hal Elrod, and right, like really like getting up early, plan my day in advance. Also for writing, it was like really, when I write from 6 to 9 or until I reach 2,000 words. So I always put a goal to say, okay, whatever I reach before 2,000 words or 6 to 9. And then usually, oftentimes I stay longer, because once you start it, once you are in the movement, you just keep on doing it. And one habit which has probably the most influence in my success, is gratitude. So every morning or every evening, I write down 3 things I'm grateful for. Now it's actually 5 or 10, and it really improves everything. So it's even scientifically proven that if you write down 3 things you are grateful for every day, you will become more optimistic, more sociable, less headaches, you will sleep better, and all these things. And I really noticed the more grateful I got, the more successful I got, the better my life got. So that's a huge thing.
Marc, thank you for sharing those habits with us. I think the gratitude one is really great. Like all of them are great, like also the 2,000 words in 3 hours, but especially the gratitude one, because it's something that allows you to think about what you have instead of what you don't have.
I can tell you, yeah.
Just
it's
so
really
great.
It's amazing, really. So everybody who listens to us, because I get proof now every day from people who write to me, say it's incredible, I didn't believe it. I started writing down 3 to 5 things I'm grateful for, and after 3-4 weeks, I saw already amazing results. Not huge, but amazing compared from where I was 4 weeks ago. So I really, if everybody who's listening to us wants to take one thing away, do the gratitude, and in 4 weeks, let us know how it goes. It's really a very cool habit, and it's working. It's scientifically proven.
Well, Marc, I appreciate you coming on the show to share your habits and all of your great insights about Amazon ads. For people who want to learn more about Marc, get your copy of his book, 30 Days, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. We've been talking about how reviews are pretty important. So if you like his book, definitely take the time to.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, that would be highly appreciated. You will make your way on my gratitude list then.
Yeah, so if you want to make it on Marc's gratitude list, definitely do that. That book will be in the show notes. You could also just search 30 Days, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life on Amazon. In addition to that book, where else can we find you just to keep following your work?
Yeah, so marcreklau.com is my webpage. I have but that's a quite simple one where you can download some free coaching worksheets. I'm also a coach. And then I have another worksheet, another web with more information about me, which is goodhabitsacademy.com. And the fun thing is really, I think in the whole wide world, there are only 2 Marc Reklaus, but only 1 Marc Reklau with a C. So if you put me into Google, I'm everywhere. If you put me in Amazon, I'm everywhere. So yeah, I'm everywhere. So if you want to get in touch with me also on Instagram or Facebook, I'm always happy. I really answer every email. If you write to me and I don't answer, it might have slipped. So write again or insist. But usually I don't have assistants, so I can do it all myself. And that's it. I'm happy. And this time I was awake. Last time, in our first time when we wanted to do the interview, it was in Barcelona where I live. It was 11:30 and I fell asleep.
No worries. I mean, this was such an amazing interview. I'm glad we were able to make it happen. So I really appreciate you coming on Breakthrough Success and sharing all of your great stuff with us.
It was a super honor for me. Yeah? I'm really happy to be on this podcast. I admire your work. Go on like this, young man. 20 books already. So in no time you will have 40. And great work.
Thank you.